I still can't even look at the radar because it says too many requests. Honestly, at this point, if you're looking at the radar, please stop. Leave it to people that are broadcasting to the actual people there. You know, if you're like a hobbyist, I would just stop. Watch someone stream that has, you know, the radar on there. There's a lot of people that rely on that radar, and the website being down is not helpful to anybody. Normally, I wouldn't care, but I mean, obviously, it's becoming a problem. We haven't been able to look at radar for at least an hour or two now. All right, let's go check back in on our airplane data, see if we have anything new to deconstruct on our storm here. And Tropical Tidbits is now down. Hold on. Nope, I refreshed it and it's working. All right. Oh, wow. Jeez. Okay. So the data wasn't in by the time we got distracted by the update, but it was in for the National Hurricane Center. So yeah, this is why they kept it at 175 knots. We have the SFMR and the flight level winds on the latest pass on the eastern side still are very elevated. I mean, that's around 160 knots there. So that's probably why they kept the intensity at 175 miles per hour. The other plane, though, didn't get the same thing. And that just goes to show how different it can be depending on where you are in that eye wall. You can get a plane pass through the weak parts of the eye wall the entire time it's out there. And, you know, you never really get a good understanding of what's going on. And look at this. This plane got 912. And this plane got 910. Both hit different portions of that eye. So that just goes to show sometimes the inconsistency of even the real-time data can be just based on where the drop zones drop. And thank you, Darcel Gray, for the $5. Thank you so much. And the sticker. Cute little, I think it is a dog sticker. Thank you. By the way, it's a Category 5 hurricane. Yes, we are aware. Would I like to fly into I would fly into a hurricane, maybe. I would have to be like medicated on something, though. I don't think I could do it sober. Don't think so. I'd just be too scared, man. I'd be way too scared, in all honesty. Same with like space. It's more of like a thing like I would love to do that, but like actually doing it, I don't think I could. Like, it'd be super cool to be in a spaceship, but it would also be super cool not to be a scaredy cat. And those two things don't mix. Those purples are wild. Yeah, they really are. There's still a lot, like in the plane data shows the same thing. The right side of our hurricane is way healthier than the left side of our hurricane. You can see these purples are really wrapping around on the right side. That's where these planes just flew through and showed our strongest winds in the hurricane, and our weaker winds are now on the western side. Got a little northerly jog, finally. Yeah, there is a little northerly jog there. I'm not sure if it's enough to be like to like sound the alarms that you know, we've got an official northern track coming in, but there was a little northerly jog. You can kind of notice it on satellite, and they did say that the storm is moving to the northwest on the latest Hurricane Hunter plane update. Good evening. I thank you, Nicholas, Andy, and Big Block for subscribing. Thank you. Wind gust of 241 miles per hour is measured by a dropson on this pass, or is that in the past? We saw that in the past. That was actually above sea level though, so that wasn't near the surface. I'm the first channel to mention the northern jog. I shouldn't be. I mean, it's literally on the National Hurricane website. Moving northwest at 2 miles per hour. So I doubt that's the case. Oh, wow. We apparently have one more fatality reported now in Jamaica. Location not reported. So this person is very reliable on reporting that kind of data. And we have at least, unfortunately, one child missing. Not sure what country that is in, though. It doesn't mention. Causes have been 3 landslide related, 2 cutting trees in preparation. That was the 2/3 of the deaths in Jamaica. One was electrocution indirect, one was flood related, and one was wind related. Bad. The word is out. Yeah, it's out. You can definitely tell on the loop that it's moving a little bit to the north. So slow though. Still a very slow moving hurricane. Yeah, I'm wondering if Bryce is going to go back live tonight or not. He might just try to wait until the landfall. There's also a chance that the clouds might be a little bit too high right now for Starlink. I'm wondering if he still has service out there, because when he was live streaming earlier, there was some decent winds in it. Your grandma can walk faster? Yup. When is landfall? It's been updated, I think, to more like, you know, in between like 9 and 12 p.m. or 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. I would say somewhere within that time frame. So pushed back a little bit later, in my opinion. Oh, wow. You were hit by that tornado. Wow. Well, thank you, Brayden. I appreciate that. No problem. Man, does that river... I don't know if I'm just imagining this, but I feel like the river is even faster than the last time we looked at it. Will it recycle and gain strength before it makes landfall? It depends on when that recycle happens. You know, given that we are still holding 175 wind intensity, I don't think that recycle, like we were theorizing that it might be trying to start to happen, but it doesn't seem like it's happened yet. Yeah, still no debris. Yeah, if we start seeing larger pieces of debris, that means, oh wait, large piece of debris? Or is it a shadow? What was that? Let me go back in time and make it bigger. Hold on. What was that? It was like right near the bank. Hold on. Let me go back. Yeah, we were literally just talking about that. Yeah, right there. I can't tell if that's a shadow or actually a piece of debris. I think it's a tree limb. But it comes right when the car comes, so is that like a shadow thing? It seems like there's a little stream behind it when it goes under the shadow, and it reflects light. I think that's a tree limb. That's the first piece of debris we've seen. That can be an indication that the flood might be a little bit worse upstream. I think that's a tree limb. Very interesting. That's not a good sign. We were literally talking about debris, and then a debris showed up. So maybe we should stop talking about it. Actually, let's watch this for a little bit longer. I'm gonna stay on here, this camera, to see if we see any more debris. And if we don't see any like immediately after that, then we'll go back to the other cam, or we'll go back to the multi-cam. But we need to monitor this for a second, because again, this is gonna be the warning. This is basically the warning area for Spanish Town. If we start seeing a bunch of debris start to flow down here and the river really starts to rise quickly, then we need to start blaring the alert and really starting to warn Spanish Town, because this river specifically enters into the eastern portion of Spanish Town. There's a lot of people that live downstream from Flatbridge. Buckeye, you're right. That's why I said it could be an indication. One piece of debris doesn't really concern me too much, but if we start to see more than just one piece, then that's going to raise the alert level at quite a little bit more, for sure. What happens typically is you'll start to see a couple pieces of larger debris show up, and then you really start to see the river rise. Yeah, Garrett, it has to be coincidence. The only other logical explanation for me saying tree debris and then it shows up would be that I'm God, and I don't think that's the reason. So it's just a coincidence. A crazy coincidence that happens way too many times on this channel. But you're live long enough, they add up. The hurricane is a category 4 R5. Evan Almighty. That movie was crazy. I love that movie. A lot of growth on the top of the water. Well, the top of the water is definitely moving faster, for sure. And we just saw our first little piece of debris. Now, was that just some wind knocked a tree limb, or is that an indication that the water is flooding a lot more closer to the top of the mountain and is actually starting to empty into this area? It seems to be only one piece of debris, but we're just sitting here to watch just to make sure we're not about to see a lot more. To be fair, that thunderstorm is in the area, and it's probably dumping a crap ton of rain on the mountains right now. So you could definitely make the argument that a burst of wind knocked a tree limb into the river, and then we just saw it. The water isn't higher. Okay, thanks for letting us know. If we can go back in time and see if we notice any differences. We have to start off when it's dark, though, I believe. Yeah, it's definitely about the same height. Maybe a little bit higher. But I can't tell if it's a little bit higher or the shadows just changed. Kind of looks a little bit higher. That could also be that shadow retreating there. I don't know. Can't say for certain. It's definitely faster. So maybe it's a little bit higher. Yeah, this is the first place, though, that we could see very significant impacts before landfall. Right here, we could see an absolute catastrophe take place. So that's why this camera is super important to monitor. Because the quicker we can get that word out to Spanish Town, the better. You know what I'm saying? They need as much time. They're not going to have a lot. I mean, we're only going to give them like maybe a 10 to 20 minute extra warning if we catch it in time. You can tell it's higher if you look at this middle portion of the bridge. It definitely seems a tad higher. Thank you for the time. Yeah, no problem. Thank you guys for like continuing to watch me. That's like trusting me with your weather coverage. I am honored. Yeah, technically the shadow would change. It's actually a good point to bring up. If the water is higher, that means there is less space in between the light and the top surface of the water, meaning the reflection angle would be a little bit different, changing the angle of the shadow. So maybe the shadow changing, because it's not like the sun's up. The shadow shouldn't change. It would only change if the water height changed. Big brain. That was a big brain. That was an Evan big brain moment there. Only happens once every now and then. Thank you, Christina. I appreciate that. Now, the good news is after that piece of debris came through, we haven't seen any more. We'll watch it for a little bit longer and then we'll go back to the multi-camera. But I mean, there's not really much happening on the other cameras. This is kind of the most interesting thing, at least in my mind. Can I say hi, Ava? Hi, Ava. Conditions still look quite calm. Yeah, they are. But I mean, we're definitely getting more rain, which means that the flood threat is definitely going up. And we got quite a few thunderstorms off of the coast. We'll come over to here. You see, we got more thunderstorms popping up on the right side quadrant as well. And those are about to come into Jamaica. I wish we had radar. Let me check one more time for the radar. We got to keep checking, because eventually people are going to give up. Oh, hey. Finally. Oh, yeah. Reds. We are starting to see those thunderstorms move in here. Even stronger rain probably about to make it onto shore. Our radar, the center of our radar, I know you guys can't see Jamaica, which is a big flaw of this website. But we know that the center of the radar, which is right here, is located in Kingston. And so we do have heavier rain coming again into this area. Man, flooding is about to become a major issue. Just no doubt about it. And there's those thunderstorms off of the shore as well that we were seeing pop up on satellite, the red there as well. How is our eye looking? Yeah, still no eye wall replacement cycle. It is still very healthy looking. Wow. Thank you, Kyle Harrelson, for being a member for 6 months. Thank you. Lay another map over it. I do have a map. Let me see if I can get this right. So Kingston would be like about here. Oh. It'd be kind of like this, but maybe a little bit smaller. It's pretty close to it because the mountains that are blocking the radar would be on the eastern side of Jamaica. That's about as close as we can get. Let's remove this. Oh, close. A little bit smaller. Out like that, probably. Maybe just a tad bigger. Yeah, so those heavy rain showers are going to be moving in like right now. So winds are probably going to increase a little bit, and the flood threat as well. It'll only get worse. Eye wall is projected to hit probably sometime between like 9 and 12 p.m. 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. No, it's moving northwest now, according to the hurricane hunters who are like actually in the storm. Radar from that distance can be deceiving given the fact that you're not looking at the surface of the storm. You're looking from that far away, you're looking like in the mid levels. I thank you, Jarny, ECU, and SGT for subscribing. Thank you so much. Come back over here for a second. And I do want to see what our hurricane hunter planes are up to. And they're currently traveling away from our hurricane. They have both made the initial turn though. So we're about to get another turn back into the storm. So potentially 30 minutes until our next update. Yeah, keep your eyes on that flat bridge camera. I got a feeling, just given the speed of the flow of the water. Gosh, I feel like it just increased again. That seems faster again. I might be going crazy. Like, not like significantly faster, but like a little bit faster. Just not higher yet. I think it is. We have determined that it is a little bit higher. Just not significantly higher. One of the ways to monitor that is the shadow we have figured out using our brains. Yeah, the rain is about to, a big surge of rain is about to come into Kingston right now. And that's going to last for a while. And again, you know, the flood threat is only going to get worse. That rain is only going to intensify as it hits the mountainous regions. It's just not looking good. River's already trying to become a little bit faster as well. A little bit higher. Might not be long before we start to see this river try to approach the top of this bridge. Thank you, Anna. I appreciate that. Yeah, the wind in the mountains could potentially be 30 miles per hour higher, or 30% higher than the surface. All right, let me refresh these cams, and that Kingston Harbor camera is also starting to shake a little bit more up there. Refresh these cams and see what the conditions are looking like now that we have some thunderstorms starting to move in. And that camera's shaking a little bit there too. Everything is still appearing manageable for most folks, even in Maypen. Halfway tree still looking manageable. Still seeing power on for a lot of folks too. We're still seeing a lot of lights. So no significant power outages yet in the Kingston Maypen or even in the Little London Westmoreland. Which, by the way, which camera is that? Yeah, it's this one. This one is going to be the closest to where our hurricane is going to make direct landfall. So winds will get pretty nasty over here as Hurricane Melissa gets closer and closer to land. Question is, will the camera survive as the hurricane makes a close approach? And thank you, Taylor, Arlene, Beverly, and Roxanne for subscribing. Thank you so much. And hey, Vexel, thank you for the $3.50. Storm looks so crazy on radar. It really does. It looks crazy basically anywhere that you look at it. Any way that you look at it. Once it hits, electric will be out in no time. Yeah, absolutely. I am curious. Let me go. Do we have this camera up? No. Let me turn on the audio. I think these guys have been driving around telling people stuff. No. Okay. Countdown to 100K subs, guys. I don't think we're hitting that today. It'd be pretty cool if we did, but I don't think we are. And yeah. Let me check to see if Pagey Tornado scheduled a live stream. Still not yet. They said they might go live tonight. Man, the stream feels so different when the music cuts off. Thank you, Armadillo, Andrea, Morton, and Russ for subscribing. Thank you. Is this Jamaica's hurricane season? Actually, typically Jamaica, if they do see a hurricane, it's usually late or earlier in the season. This is a little late for a Jamaica landfall. I mean, we're almost in. The crazy thing is that we're at the end of October, almost in November. And this is the first Caribbean hurricane of the year. Not only that, it's a category 5 and a very strong one. You know, you could make an argument for another hurricane down here if you get just the right conditions. Like, not obviously in this exact spot, but I mean, the water temperatures out here are pretty warm still. Man, There's a lot of rain falling right now on this river. You can see that the river has become looks a little bit more hazy, and I think that's because there's so many raindrops hitting it now. Yeah, water's definitely going up. We've already determined that. You see, this is where it was before. This is where it is now, just a tad bit higher. And the rain's only increasing, so it is not looking good. Stalled for 3 hours now? Yes. You live close, and yes, it's raining. Yeah, and the rain is this the hardest rain you've seen all day, DJ? Because according to radar, it seems like at least in some spots near Kingston and Flatbridge, and also Maypen, that this could be the strongest rainfall we've seen yet. Oh, 5 minutes ago? Okay, gotcha. Yeah, 3 deaths in Jamaica. According to Weather Fatalities, which is a pretty dang credible source when it comes to that kind of information, they're saying that there has been a total of 8 deaths related to Hurricane Melissa. From what 2 of them were indirect deaths. From like preparation for Hurricane Melissa. So like you can tie that to Hurricane Melissa, because if they didn't have to prepare, those people would have never died. So it's technically still related. In Jamaica, yeah. There's also a report of a missing child as well. $341 miles per hour. Yeah, that's not. That would be, golly, if we ever got a hurricane with 341 miles per hour winds, you could definitely say that it's a category 6. But that's theoretically impossible. At least with how our atmosphere is today. Give it like maybe 50 years, and if we haven't curbed our emissions, maybe you can make that argument that could be possible, but not currently, thankfully. But still, 200 miles per hour wind gust is still a lot. Yeah, 8 deaths. Not all in Jamaica though. It's 4 from Haiti, 3 from Jamaica, and then one in the Dominican Republic. That camera will be back. Okay, just making sure all of our cameras are current. There we go. Man, oh man, what's our planes doing? Let's go check in on our planes. Are they making the turn back into the storm yet? Yeah, we're seeing downpours pretty much on every camera right now. And look at the camera on the top left. Shaking quite a bit. That's in Kingston Harbor. Yeah, one plane is turned towards the storm. Both planes are now turned back towards the storm. So we're about to get some new data probably within the next 10 to 20 minutes. Is Melissa still weakening, or is it getting its act back together? The eye, I will say, looks a little bit more symmetrical on satellite, and we still have a lot of pinks wrapping around our storm here. So could make the argument that it's maintaining strength, or maybe even strengthening a little bit. All flights canceled out of Jamaica. Yeah, here's the eye of our hurricane on the bottom left. See, it's still very healthy and circular right now. It was a little bit oblong earlier. I will say it has moistened up a little bit. Not as big of an area of extreme dryness, which is probably in relation to the pressure rising a little bit in our storm, which means it did weaken theoretically a little bit. But I mean, still 909 millibars is still a lot. Are still very low, and the winds are still hanging around 175 miles per hour. Yeah, 241 mile per hour winds was above sea level, so it wasn't at the surface. Parts of the Kingston Harbor wall is being breached by high waves. See if I can confirm that. Yeah, I see nothing, at least on Twitter, about that. That would have been reported if it was legitimate. Probably some waves are making it over the wall, but what we're really concerned about is the ocean itself without waves making it over that. High winds in Kingston confirmed. Yeah, a lot of the Kingston camera that we have in Kingston Harbor is right here, and it's been shaking quite a bit recently as these thunderstorms move through. You can also see that tree on the left side is also shaking a bit too. You have the best coverage in the country. I appreciate that. Thank you. We're trying our best. You like how I read comments? Thanks. I appreciate that. You know, half of it is weather coverage, half of it is just chatting. I love answering your guys' questions. I love seeing y'all's opinions. I love every now and then that you guys will make me question my sanity completely. Here's a big view of our hurricane right now. Let's remove this. Place that in the right spot if we can. Still an absolutely terrifying look to it. You see those thunderstorms are really erupting on this portion of our storm right now, and that is going to bring a lot more heavy rain into the area. So we just had a pretty decent wave of heavy rain move into the Spanish Town and Kingston Harbor area, the Kingston area, and then we're going to have even more rounds of that after that. And that's just going to continue round after round as long as Hurricane Melissa is in the area. We're not going to see that release until Hurricane Melissa gets like up here. Sorry, that's not right. That was too big of a circle, like up here. It's not really going south. This is kind of a weird way to look at it. 3D can get a little bit messed up. You see the latest satellite imagery is still pretty much stationary. You can tell we've been sitting around 4 or 3 pixels above this 5 for a good hour now. Has Melissa turned yet? Nope. It's just kind of right now. It's just kind of sitting there. She's been turned. She is turned. Can I get an update on the path of hurricane, please? Yeah, so update on Melissa's path is we're talking more about western impact, but it's been the average of the path has been near Montego Bay for a while now. Just south of Montego Bay near White House, Jamaica. Let me move this down here just a little bit and we'll just to that. Well, yeah, unfortunately with the 3D view, if I move it down too far, it makes the eye look like it's south of there, which it's not. To look at it directly. I could zoom out a tad. There we go. And thank you, Justin and Scott, for subscribing. Thank you. Welcome. Why do you think she's sitting there? Just too many. Too many dolphins. I'm just kidding. There is just not a whole lot of a steering current around our storm. Our high pressure system that's up to the north and west has died. And our low pressure system that's going to bring this up to the north is interacting with the storm just very slightly at this point. But over the next hour or so, we should see that northern turn commence. Nearing perfect symmetry? Yeah. I mean, that eye is freaking circular. That is a circle. Very impressive. Yeah, I mean, that's basically a circle again. So, very symmetrical eye wall right now. Looks incredible. Yeah, it is almost unbelievable just how strong this storm is and has remained for the past pretty much half a day here. I mean, since we woke up, this storm, just hit category 5 and it's been a category 5 all day. We'll go check in on our river cam here. What is the water temperature out there right now? It's around 88 degrees, which is plenty to sustain hurricane activity. It is well above normal. Some of the hottest waters in the tropical Atlantic is right around this hurricane right now, which is why it's been able to get to such an insane degree of intensity. Again, it's hard to stress how rare it is to see a hurricane get down into the 90s in the millibars or winds to get up to 175 miles per hour. You just do not see that often at all. You could make an argument that this used to be a once in a decade storm. Is it rare for it to be at a Cat 5 all day? Not particularly, especially when you get to a hurricane of this strength. I wouldn't say it's normal. Sometimes you can see it briefly hit Cat 5 and go back down and have an eye wall replacement cycle. But you know, it's in a pretty low shear environment. You can tell that by just how circular our storm has stayed throughout the entirety of the day. Current updates from the National Hurricane are still calling for 9 to 13 feet of storm surge. What is it like now? It feels like once every 5 years. Heck, I mean, the last time we saw a hurricane at that strength was literally last year. So it's basically once a year type event now. Category 5s used to be rare. Category 5s used to be at this strength, used to be very rare. But they are not that rare anymore. Millibars is, you can think of it kind of like a vacuum. It's basically lack of air molecules. So the lower the air, the lower the millibar is, the less amount of molecules you have in a square mile of a storm. And so, yeah, you know, less molecules means more of a vacuum, which means stronger suction, which means stronger hurricane, which means more disturbed oceans, which means more or higher waves and higher storm surge. You can think of it like a big old suction cup that spins. Hey, Livy. Yeah, this is our third category 5 this year, which is rare. Typically in your typical hurricane season, the Hurricane Center will call for 3 major hurricanes. And, you know, every now and then one of those will get to a category 5. But this year, almost every major hurricane we have had has reached category 5 status. That's rare. That's a sign of like, oh, something's broken. Here in Fort Myers, we got 15 feet of storm surge. Yeah, we were live for that. We were watching that storm surge go into Sanibel Island. We were terrified. It is almost burrito time. Or at this point, honestly, it might just be a burrito salad. I don't know if I'm gonna actually eat the soggy tortilla. Although I might be able to like put it in the microwave and then throw it. Where is that Maypen? It looks like some decent winds were in Maypen. Yeah, look at the road. The wind's crossing the road there. Decent little winds in Maypen from those thunderstorm activity. This is in Maypen. Looks like Hurricane Hugo topped out at 160 miles per hour, as far as I can tell by research. So it's definitely stronger than Hurricane Hugo. If you're talking about the one from September 89. Oh, wow. Yeah, we're definitely getting some decent wind gusts. You can see them every now and then in the distance. You see it moving across the road. That's not weak wind. Probably like close to like 40 to 60 miles per hour, somewhere in that range. Power may go out too. Yeah, it is possible. Might start losing cams shortly, because those winds are definitely increasing, especially in Maypen. Let's check some of these other cameras. Not that one. This is in Crossroads, Kingston. Camera is shaking quite a bit here. Yeah, it seems like that thunderstorm activity is increasing the winds across the board here. Kingston. Flatbridge, though, is still pretty calm, but this is more inland. Check out Westmoreland, which again, it's going to be our camera that is probably going to see the most insane winds out of our storm, at least from these cameras, as Westmoreland is going to be on the west side of the eye wall, and it's going to be very close to it at one point. If this camera survives until tomorrow morning, this one will be showing something quite crazy. You double check on Tornado Pagey. Yeah, they're still not back live yet. You're happy to see people off the streets? Yeah. Yeah, they know what's coming. I mean, like, you know, that just goes to show, like, you know, they weren't just out there because they were, you know, oblivious. Like, they're paying attention. I mean, you've seen multiple people from Jamaica in our chat. Like, they're paying attention. I saw some comments online like, why are people still out in the streets? Do they not know what's about to come? It's just like, no, I mean, it's not there yet. Like, you think people are going to shelter into place, like, you know, days before the storm? I thank you, Crazy Anthony, Cindy, and Marianne for subscribing. Thank you. When the hurricane moves slow like this over land, it'll be moving a little bit faster, for sure. I mean, all day pretty much the hurricane has been kind of in the same spot or pretty close to here. It's moved a little bit, but yeah, I mean, it will be moving faster. But yeah, look at this near where Maypen is. It's like near Old Harbor. See these thunderstorms really blossoming out over here. Really worried about that river, man. So far, it's hanging in there. But again, the river, I'm gonna be honest, is looking like it's going faster than even before now. It's just steadily increasing its pace. Yeah, but that's their channel name, Jim. It's Bryce, technically. You're right. Also, you can see like more of the river is moving. The right side of the river has been pretty stagnant, but you can tell that movement is moving more towards the center of the river than it was before. I'll show you. What I mean, if I can find another instance of a close-up shot there. Yeah, you can see here, like an hour or two ago, it was like a little bit further closer to the bank. And now that is spreading more to the center of the river as well. So our flow is increasing for sure. Our flow rate. Evan, that cam from Maypan is getting crazy wind. Yeah, I heard. But that wind, I'm not really too concerned about. I'm more worried about oh yeah, they are getting some pretty big winds here. Make sure we're current. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say they're crazy wind, but we're definitely getting some higher winds now for sure. Out here, and there's a person jogging. All right. But yeah, you know, these aren't gonna like cause major damage out here. People will survive these winds. I'm more worried about that river. That is my number one concern right now until the eye wall gets closer to land and we start seeing those hurricane force winds show up. Thank you, Justin, for becoming a WIMD member. Thank you so much. Oh, you can hear the wind on it. Oh. We'll go check out that. It's cam 3. I don't hear anything. Is there another halfway tree cam that we should be looking at? Yeah, there's 2 of them. Oh, yeah. Okay, we'll use this one. This one has sound on it. We'll replace this. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. I appreciate that. Thank you, Danielle. Doing a great job keeping it calm and updating on the facts. Yes, that is literally, if you... This is your first time at this channel, that is the goal of our channel. We don't want you guys panicking. We just want you guys focused on the information. And so it's probably a little bit more boring that we're not screaming bloody murder all the time, but man, the winds are really getting started in Maypen. And thank you, Jen, for the 5. Thank you so much. What's my plan for 100K subscriber celebration? I don't know. I have to think about that. The last couple subscriber celebrations, I got too big, or my idea was too big for like what I could actually achieve. So yeah. I got to think of something a little bit more realistic this time. Don't hear anything? Yeah, let me turn on that camera. Probably not going to keep that on. All stream, but you can definitely hear the wind. I get the plaque. Oh yeah, that is true. Maybe I'll cook some food and eat it off the plaque. I don't know. I don't really celebrate that kind of stuff. That is a huge milestone though, so I might actually celebrate for once. I just don't believe in like gloating about your success. I feel it's a little bit off-putting. If I did celebrate, it'd probably be like privately, not like publicly. I don't like to share things publicly. Like I met Reed Timmer. I got a video of it, and my mom got a video of it. I asked her not to. When he came to town, I hadn't posted it because I just don't believe in like putting that stuff on blast. It's like, I don't like gloating about stuff. Now, the water's definitely risen a little bit. We've already confirmed that. It's also moving faster, and more of the river itself is moving now. We've already seen a piece of debris flow down here, but there's only been one. So we haven't seen like an indication that the flow has gotten to like violent levels or or like dangerous levels, but it's definitely risen a little bit and the flow is definitely getting faster. YouTube wind copyright strike. Imagine. I've actually, I made a song that had like thunder noises in it, and I actually got copyright claimed on it. It's kind of funny. Let me move this halfway tree cam. Over to our big screen near Kingston Harbor, because Kingston Harbor cam is not going to be very helpful since we can't really see anything on it right now. Jeez Louise. By the way, let me unsubscribe real quick. Huge shout out to Jamaica. They are the only reason we'd be able to track these storms with cameras on the ground. If you haven't already, come out here, like all of the videos, and subscribe to Jamaica. They're almost at 100,000 subscribers. They are going to reach it before I do, believe it or not. But yeah, hit that subscribe button. Let them know that you see them, that you support them, and consider giving them donations. You know, this is one of those times where you could donate and probably see a direct effect from it, from them adding more cameras. They have more cameras than they did last year when we used them, and yeah. It's not overly windy here, though, but the wind noises are interesting. I will say that. Here's the updated view of our hurricane, and we probably have some new aircraft recon data to go over, so let's check it out. And it's down. Do a refresh, see if it'll pop back up. Yep, our plane has just gone into the eye wall again, and look at this. The western eye wall is a little bit stronger than the last time. A little bit stronger, about 152 knots or somewhere around there. The western eye wall is now getting its strength back together. Huge shout out to Frank, Connie, and Dre for subscribing. Welcome to the Fry family. It is nice to have y'all. Let's check out our other Hurricane Hunter. It has also just gone. Yeah, look at this. The western eye wall, at least according to this Hurricane Hunter, is now the strongest portion. So we are getting thunderstorms. I feel wrapping. Or let me make sure that's the western eye wall. Hold on. I could be going in through differently. No, that's the southern eye wall. So the southern eye wall is pretty strong there. This is like more like the southeastern eye wall. So the southeastern eye wall is still technically the strongest. So I read that wrong. Apologize. But yeah, very strong hurricane still. Let's see. Minimum pressure still sitting at around 909, at least according to this data here. Wow, 902 according to this Hurricane Hunter. Looks like Melissa might be strengthening again. Let's see if we have a drop sign in that eye. No drop sign in that eye. This one has one. It says 907 at the surface. I think this one missed it a little bit, as it has a little bit higher pressures. We'll have to wait for this drop zone to come in and see if they hit that eye. But flight level, it is saying 902, which is dropping back down. And, you know, that kind of lines up. You know, we've been seeing a lot more symmetry with our hurricane. You can see it's got like basically a perfect circle now. So it's definitely getting stronger. Wow. It's getting close to sub 900. Getting very close to sub 900. That would be crazy and just very bad news for Jamaica. Period. Really, fingers crossed for an eye wall replacement cycle at this point. We really need one of them. Bad. Okay, I think I can notice another rise on our camera. It's about like 11 minutes ago. Go back 20 minutes. Oh yeah, 20 minutes ago to now. Look at this. In just the past 20 minutes, this river has risen. A little bit more. Oh boy. The river is arising. Watch out, Spanish Town. We've been seeing it rise slowly, but that rising to noticeably like that in 20 minutes means that it's the pace in which it is rising is going faster. I wouldn't call it catastrophic yet, but it will be a catastrophic hurricane, yes. In the reporter group, let me read that. Yeah. Well, that should qualify as a double clutch. And what is the double clutch? I've never heard of that before. Yeah, I still don't have that eye. Well, it says it's dropped it, according to here, but the drop zone is not viewable yet. And thank you, Andre and Miss Powell, for subscribing. Welcome. Welcome to the channel. Thank you for tuning in. Oh, geez. Look at this. 143 in the lower 150 meters of our storm. This is definitely an eye wall. We have a southeast eye wall drop zone that just... Oh, geez. Look at this. 143 in the lower 150 meters of our storm. This is definitely an eye wall. We have a southeast eye wall drop zone that just came in. Still pretty strong. It's like it missed the core of the eye wall at the end, but near the 100, the mean winds, the average winds in the lowest 150 meters is still at 143 knots. Let's see what that is. Knots to mph. 143, around 164. I think it missed it a little bit. I don't know if this is true or not, but your wife just told you that she read that the Cajun Navy has already began to get ready things to go and assist. Ooh, that'd be good. Hopefully that's true. Because Jamaica's going to need all the help that they can get. I'm hoping to hear an announcement from the United States at some point about helping Jamaica. But as far as I can tell, they've been too busy talking about a new ballroom for the White House. Wow. In terms of rude wins, that's funny. The winds are rude, though. Do you notice the jog to the east? It's like due east. Let me see. Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's a subtle shift to the east on the last frames. Subtle shift to the east. Might be able to see it better if I speed it up. See? Oh, yeah. A subtle shift back to the east. So we're getting an eastern wobble now. Interesting. Probably more like a northeastern wobble. Wow. I don't know. Sorry. You can see it now. Slight eastern wobble. So, eastern wobble means that our trough is officially interacting with our storm. The high pressure system that was back over here, which is probably dead now, is gone. And the only thing that can push our storm to the east should be the trough. So the trough must be interacting with our storm, which maybe some of the divergent winds aloft could be the explanation of why our storm is getting a little bit more convection around the eastern side, and also why our storm might be getting a little bit stronger. And divergent winds aloft are essentially winds that move kind of in the same direction, but spreading apart a little bit. And that creates a little bit of a void, which forces air to rise, which can help strengthen the convection around and in the hurricane itself. And that typically happens on the leading edge or along the troughs in the 300 millibar area, which is way up there above your head. Higher than higher or right around where planes fly. On Discord, I'm afraid to open Discord. My computer's been on for like 2 days. You take a submarine into the eye, then the surface, and release sensors. What? Why don't we have that? I mean, yeah, you could. I think. I don't see why not. Why is that not a thing? Hello? Maybe submarines are expensive, but like, that kind of seems like a dumb moment, but I have never thought about that. Need to be on the surface. You release it from 500 feet under it and just allow the sensors to float up to the surface. Have some counterweights inside of it so, you know, the winds don't blow it over too much. Have some sensors on the top to measure wind speed, data, and humidity, and all that. It's like a regular buoy. Max flight winds at 180 miles per hour. My goodness. That's not good. That's not at the surface, but that is a lot. Yeah. All right. We can see those max flight winds a little bit more accurately by clicking on the data itself. We'll do this one first. See what it measured. We'll click on these pink things. 156 knots. 151. 156. Yeah, 156 is our highest. Yeah, 179 from that airplane is the highest flight level winds. And those are not near the surface, but get enough wind that can make it, or get enough rain that can make it down to the surface. All right, where's our latest track from this plane? Right here. It's 152, 152, 162. Okay, so the highest is 162 there. $186. Is that what help said? No, he said approximately 180. Jeez. That's a big yikes. Those are strong winds just above the surface there. The hurricane hunters usually go down to about 2,000 meters in order to measure those. So 2,000 meters would technically be like the top of one of these mountains near Kingston. So if you think about it, if this made landfall over there near Kingston, at the top of the mountains, they would have probably felt that. What time will landfall be? Likely sometime in between. I would say sometime in between, around like, I'll say like 8 to 12 p.m. 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. As it did get pushed back because our storm stalled for a pretty long time. But it does seem like our storm is moving to the east a little bit and northeast. Oh, yeah, it is moving northeast, folks. I just noticed that. Hold on. The turn might be beginning. Watch this. Right at the end. A little turn to the north and east. It's very subtle, but you can just barely see it at the very end of the loop. You really speed it up. It is turning, folks. Now, question is it going to keep turning or is it going to do another loop before going into land? Don't really quite know, but the fact that it's turning east and northeast, that means the trough is interacting with it, and it will probably continue to interact with our storm for the rest of the time. It also wouldn't surprise me if we started to see an increase of the forward speed of the storm as well, because it's also interacting with that trough. Is that going to Negro? It could, yeah. I mean, some models do bring it pretty close. So again, really anywhere from Alligator Pond all the way to Negro, all need to be, preparing for direct landfall. Thank you, Julianne and Carol, for subscribing. Thank you. What do we anticipate with the turn? Well, the turn means that it's moving closer to land. So we're going to expect higher rainfall rates, and we're also going to expect stronger winds. So the winds will steadily increase now from here on out. I think the river has risen more. And it's also definitely moving even faster too. Oh yeah. It's still rising at a pretty steady pace now. You just saw that Bryce is evacuating. Oh, wow. Okay, so yeah, definitely not another live stream from him. It's honestly a pretty good move. He was right next to the coast. Let me see if I can get updates on that personal. Let me see if I can see that with my eyeballs. Bryce, where did you see that from? Oh, but they put an update out on YouTube. Okay. Yeah, so this is the update from our storm chaser. They say, hello, everyone. An update for you. Bryce has decided to evacuate from the southern coast in Jamaica for safety purposes. There hasn't been another stream yet, as y'all have noticed, but there is no power. Cell phone service was already getting sketchy. And earlier, he was helping a family with final preparations. He's planning to get to his new safe location, reevaluate, and then stream. I don't have time to give. I don't have a time to give you for when to keep your or for when they're going to go back live, but keep your notification on. Please be patient with us, as this is very hard to coordinate with him being in Jamaica with a powerful category 5 hurricane forecasted to hit the island within 24 hours. And I am in Pennsylvania having some minor health complications related to my recent surgery. Don't worry about me right now. This is about Bryce, and I'm the looming threat to the island of Jamaica, but just keep everyone updating, or just keeping everyone updated to why things are extra complicated right now. Thank you for your continued support. I am praying so hard for Bryce and for this beautiful island nation and its residents. All that is the update from Tornado Pagey and Bryce. That's Tornado Pagey wrote that, though. But yeah, scary stuff. I'm glad he left. That was in all honesty, he would have got trapped there, if not worse. So that was a good idea. I thank you, Elaine, for sending 5 memberships. They're gifting 5 memberships. So 5 people in chat just got a membership because Elaine spent her hard-earned money on you. So make sure that you thank her in chat. Oh, wow. Little London is getting worse, folks. Look at this. Little London is going to be getting the worst impacts from our storm out of all of our cameras, and it's starting to go downhill here. Thank you, Scooby Dooby, for the $2. Thank you so much. Notice my initials are EF, like the EF scale. It is. Good catch. This is actually close to where Bryce was. And conditions are definitely going downhill. He's hill. He said the power was out here too momentarily. What do you want? You've already eaten. hill. He said the power was out there, so the power will likely go out here too momentarily. Someone said, what is a song appropriate for a hurricane? So I decided to play just like a snippet of one. We'll go back to the calming music. But man, did that change the vibe? What's the lowest pressure of Melissa right now? You know what? We should have an update on that. I think that drop song should be in by now. Jeez. Look at this. 151 on the lowest level of this drop sond. This drop hit that max wind band hard. That's the northwest eye wall. Yikes. And we do have the eye. Yeah, 907. And that's pretty much as close as you will get to an actual reading. Let me hide myself here. You guys can see the actual reading. 907 at the millibar, and that's almost a bullseye. 4 knots. That's pretty much a bullseye there. So the pressure is dropping back down. It was at 909 and now it's back down to 907. So the storm's getting stronger yet again. Winds seem to be getting stronger and the pressure is dropping again. Oops. Man. Yeah, look at that. The water is still rising. It's like not rising a bunch, but you can definitely tell subtly that it is rising. I will assess that again after I eat my burrito, which is going to be coming soon. What time is it? It's already 8:49. I should eat burrito. Double clutch is 2 sets of rapid intensificated separated by temporarily weakening period. Interesting. Check texts. I don't know how to check the text. Check text of what? Help sent me something. Yeah, pressure is at 907 millibars. I don't know exactly. 156 knots. 56 knots. Help if you could do a breakdown. Yeah, max flight wind 156 knots. That's that flight wind. Oh, text from Tornado Pagey. Oh. Oh no. All right. Looking at a current satellite presentation. Our storm is still looking extremely healthy. Our eye is still perfectly circular. And wind speeds are still 175 miles per hour. We are waiting for the latest national hurricane update to come in. Should be in at any minute. It should be in. Well, actually, never mind. Sorry. In another hour, it'll be in. I keep getting confused by the time changes. Nah, I'm not going to talk about it. It's something I can't talk about on stream. Sorry. The eye actually looks like an eye. Yeah, it really does. Yeah, it's another hour into the latest update, but I got a feeling we've got at least a drop in the minimal pressure to come. I've most likely. God is with them. I hope so. The winds aren't as strong as they were. So I wonder if those winds were associated with some thunderstorms on the northern side. It was just brief, but man, it is just raining so much, folks. And we've got even more breeze coming out of the Jamaica area. This is probably the beginning of the worst of everything. Really starting to get bad. Landslides will be catastrophic. They absolutely will. I'm just hoping if we get any, it stays at the populated areas, because I think it's basically a guarantee that we do get some. Bridge cam is in is flat bridge right here. We are gonna. I think we're gonna see this river flood, and pretty significantly. And if we look at the satellite, I mean, we have all this thunderstorm activity popping up on the eastern side, and all of that is going to stream right into the Spanish Town area. Our bridge cam is like right to the north of Spanish Town. We come over, hopefully we can see some radar data here, some new radar data. Please. It's trying to load. Come on. Oh, it loaded. Okay. No, that's not the new. That's not new. That's the old one. Now, dang it. It's down again, but just judging off a satellite, those thunderstorms are easily going to continue here. And that means we're going to start really seeing that wind also increase and that rain start to pile up here. Very concerned. Have we ever lost one of these planes in a storm? No, but yesterday one turned around because there was just too much turbulence. Or left the storm. And I swear this river is still increasing in speed. Let's watch this cam for a little bit just to make sure we're not seeing debris. We'll watch it for like a minute and then we'll go back over to Westmoreland. But I just want to watch and make sure we don't see debris start piling up. No, they're on an automatic pan. Well, that's the thing, Linzarella. No one owns those dogs. You got to think about it like this. They're basically inhabitants of the island. And the reason why no one owns them is because they live, they grow up, they have babies, and those babies don't have owners. And then those live and grow up and have babies. And eventually you get quite a large stray dog population. Oh, there's an animal walking across the bridge. It just entered on the right side. Well, I wasn't paying attention. Okay. Yeah, look at the river moving like near the center now. It's moving a lot more near the center of the river. And also ripples are starting to appear. Has that always been there? No, not that bad. Those ripples really just appeared. A little bit, or they've been there, but they're a little bit deeper now. Interesting. Thank you, Joe and Vernell, for subscribing. Thank you. Yeah, this is a river. Yeah. We are monitoring it because we are expecting this river to eventually make just everything that could happen that is wrong with weather, except for winter weather, is going to happen with this storm. Storm surge, massive flooding, and also like the most, even get a few instances of hail, massive wind damage. I mean, it's everything. I do want to come back over to the satellite real quick and check in the progress of our eye, see where it's moving now. Oh yeah, you can now very visibly see that northern turn. Yikes. And it's on the eastern side of our, so we're getting an eastern wobble. First impacts we are going to get. Again, there's ports over there. There's entire electrical grids literally on the coast of the bay. If that goes out, people might not have power for over or for near half a year to a year. But let's just hope that this is just a wobble and not a trend, just like the Western wobble. We got to say the same thing. But yeah, I mean, you can definitely tell that is we can say 100% officially we are moving north. We are officially moving north and to the east. The trough is pushing our storm. People do not let their animals behind. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure people that own animals are not going to leave them behind. But again, those dogs do not. And thank you, Jackie. Holy moly. For the $50 donation. Happy belated birthday. A little bit late, but hey, we'll take it. Thank you so much for that $50. That's a huge help out to the channel. And without your guys' kind support, we'd be homeless. So if you guys keep this channel alive, you keep me doing this, and I do appreciate it. I'd still try to stream if I was homeless, but I don't know how successful I would be without Wi-Fi. I still technically have Starlink in the back of the car. Maybe we could Jimmy rig some things together. But thank you so much. I do want to check before we go back to the cameras. I do want to check back in on just where our planes are and what's happening. Okay, so this mission. Okay, so this mission is officially done. Mission 21, but we still have mission 22 in progress. Is this glitched? I thought there was another mission. No? I guess, yeah, this one's already finished. Okay. We'll definitely probably see the on our next pass that this little orange dot, which is the center of the eye, move to the north and east for the first time. We still have the Air Force mission 22. But yeah, this NOAA mission 21 is left the building. I thank you, Sherry. 127 missed by Polar, New Hard Times, Chris, and Alicia for subscribing. Thank you. Welcome. How far is the eye from making landfall? Like in terms of distance? Let me measure it real quick. We are. Hold on, let me get it out of 3D and do that measurement. Yeah, about 105 miles to like 110 miles from land. So at the current pace, we'll get there. If this storm moved 2 miles per hour all the way to Jamaica, which it's not, it is going to speed up. Probably by the next outlook, if I had to guess, we'll get a little bump in the speed. We're probably talking, you know, if it was going at 2 miles per hour, that would be 64 hours, so 3 days until it made landfall. That's not the case. It's going to make landfall tomorrow morning to tomorrow afternoon. Is it moving faster? It does seem like it's moving faster. You can definitely tell that the storm is on the move now. For a while, it was just kind of sitting there. See, at the beginning here, you couldn't really tell if it was moving anywhere, but as of these last few frames, you can tell that it's starting to get up to it. Look at it. You can definitely tell that northeastern turn. Wow. Oh boy, it's happening. It is officially happening. The turn is coming. Are people driving around in it still? To be fair, the worst impacts are not coming to a lot of these areas. The main area where I would be concerned to still see driving happening would be on this camera. Not that one. Which one is it? Is it this one? Yeah, this camera. Because this is where we're going to see the worst impacts, at least on the cameras that we do have. How far inland is that river? It's quite a bit inland. I would say like pretty close to like 40 miles inland. 20 to 40 miles. All those white bulges on the right side are those thunderstorms that are coming in, causing rain and increased wind into the eastern part of Jamaica, which is why we keep on going back to that. Oh, here comes some wind gusts again. So we can mod that channel, but then it won't show up in chat. So how do I? Thank you, Bean, Weasel, Touch, McIntyre, Blake, K Queen, and Music Lover for subscribing. Welcome. Wow. Here's a strong wind gust. That was a pretty strong one. You really see those winds move across the road there. Yeah, powers are. Let me see if we have any updates on how many people are without power. I found a news article earlier and it's 51,000. Thank you, Jackie, for becoming a Moon D member. Welcome. Oh, dang. There is a website where we could check it, but we would need a account. Let's see if I can just make one. Thank you, Paula, for becoming a Moon D member. Welcome. Oops. I mean to do that. Let's make it. I'll log into. Okay. And we see them. Oops, your profile doesn't have an account with our. That's fine. We're not here to track our electricity. So, it's not really like a number, but these are the areas in which have reported power outages. There's 31 customers in Albion, 118, 37 in Glen Devon, Paradise 473, Blue Mountain 56, Old Harbor 37, Top Hill 436, Kitson Town 72. There's a lot. Any way to get like a summary? Tracking? Oh. Yeah, I mean, it's generally a good area to keep an eye on, just like to see where they pop up. But like upcoming outage problems reported. Yeah, definitely still some nice flow there. Still not really making progress over the bridge at the very least, though. It is still under the bridge, but the flow is definitely pretty strong and probably still slowly rising. And this is where we're seeing the worst wind impacts in Little London. These are where our strongest winds have been coming into. Oh my gosh. video out of Jamaica of major storm surge flooding coming in to an area. This kind of looks like Old Harbor. Just based on the structure, but I can't tell. But the link is in chat if you guys want to check it out. Go back to the multicam view for a little bit and read chat. Make sure all these are back live again. Wow, you can really see that camera shaking in the Kingston Harbor cam. Extend up to 8 kilometers. So reports coming in that Category 5 winds are extending 8 kilometers from the center, which is pretty dang impressive. Thank you, Kay and Scout, for subscribing. Welcome. Yeah, keep your eyes, I guess keep your eyes for some power flashes there in Kingston. We're getting some stronger thunderstorms out over there, and that's what will cause power outages. So there is a chance that we start seeing some blue flashes emanate from the Kingston Harbor, Jamaica camera on the top left. Debris and surge, yeah, that is true. Latest here, if you look on the bottom left, our northeastern track continues pretty obviously here. Maybe a slight wobble to the north on some of our latest frames, like directly north. Maybe a little like a northwest, maybe. Kind of hard to tell if that's like an illusion. We'll have to wait a little bit longer. But yes, our northeastern turn continues here in Jamaica. Or here in Melissa, sorry. Heading towards Jamaica. Treasure Bay would be better, as that mentions to be a landfill spot. Heading out for the night. See you lovely people tomorrow. Yeah, see you then. Yeah, I saw that Tornado Explorer. Thank you. All right, give me a second. I want to make my burrito. I'm getting hungry. I'm caving. I need some burrito fuel. So just give me like a minute and 30 seconds. I have got burrito slop. Oh my gosh, look at Maypen. Look at those winds. Some of the stronger winds we've seen in Maypen. Wow. That's some pretty strong wind. Landfall will be sometime in between 8 a.m. and 12 p.m. Yeah, I think our storm is definitely increasing in forward speed as well, folks. And we also got 30 minutes until our latest National Hurricane Center update. Yeah, north and east. Hurricane is moving north and east. Oh, there's also some street flooding. Look at that. On the right side of the street. Yeah, Maypen is going to be kind of close to the right side of the eye wall. But we could see some pretty decent impacts from Maypen as well. And we're getting some pretty strong thunderstorms in here too. Also, in this area, can't rule out randomly seeing a tornado. Wow, those winds are actually pretty strong. Look at that. Those are probably gusting close to 60 miles per hour. This is almost hurricane force. Thank you, Julio, Michael, Mike, Nippo, Paula, Frankenstein, Ernest, and Mike Michelle for subscribing. Thank you. No boarded windows. A lot of these shops have like metal doors in front of them, which is a little bit better than a board. Wow. That was pretty intense. Power's still on though. That's good. Sorry, I'm slowly munching on this burrito slop. Deconstructed burrito. Checking on the river. See if it's still going up. A little bit. Barely noticeable though. Wait, it stays that way. But man, we're getting a lot of rain with these storms right now. It appears to be only a matter of time. Still no major debris though, like a lot of debris in the water. We still got time. Thank you, Miss Marvelous, for subscribing. Yeah, Westmoreland has calmed down. It's mainly just Maypen. Those are some pretty strong winds. Look at that. Them dance across the road like that. Night, Andy. Thank you for tuning in. Hurricane Hunter's now flying into the eye. Yes. They're about to fly through the eye yet again. By the next update, we should have more data. So about 5 to 10 minutes. Power's still on. Fingers crossed, man. That power needs to stay on as long as possible. If it can survive these winds, that's good, but they're only going to get worse. Thank you, Dragon. I appreciate that. Try our best over here. Keep you guys in the know of everything that's happening. I do appreciate that. That's a big compliment. All right, let me hide my camera while I eat. I don't want y'all seeing me eat my burrito slop. All right, have I showed y'all the burrito slop? It is a deconstructed burrito. The latest on our Freiburger 5-star Michelin star menu. All right. Burrito slop. The finest of the Mexican cuisine. Yeah, Maypen's definitely getting it worse out of like all these cameras, which is surprising. These storms are going to make it into Westmoreland eventually, but once that northern eye wall really starts to push into Westmoreland, that's when we're going to really start to see probably the strongest winds of the day. Let me see if we have any radar updates to talk about. Come on. Give us data. It's not loading. Oh. New radar. Oh, yeah. It looks like there's supercells forming in the dry slot here. Back over to here. Oh, did we get a radar outage? No. Okay. Yeah, lots of heavy rain and thunderstorms moving into the eastern portion of the island, and also scraping across pretty much the entire island is just these little outer band thunderstorms. But right here is where those hurricane force winds are probably, and they're still just off of the coast. I haven't quite made it up there just yet, but as our storm continues to move to the north and east, we will see those hurricane force winds continue to get, those winds continue to get stronger and stronger. That is the latest. This burrito is not great. Not gonna lie. Wow, still pretty strong winds in Maypen. Not as strong as they were, though. Seems like we got a thunderstorm move through the area. Have any good Mediterranean recipes? I don't. There's probably somebody from over there, though, in chat. There's a lot of people all around. They have Doppler radar. They do. We just looked at it just a moment ago. Very heavy rain is moving into the area, and it's going to be nonstop. So far, though, this river in particular that empties into Spanish Town is still doing okay. It has definitely got some faster flow. It's definitely risen since we began to watch it, but it is not at catastrophic levels yet. It's really crazy how fast these cameras get behind. It's literally when I switch scenes. I wonder if it's like something to do with the settings in my scenes. I don't know how to fix that. Winds are getting a little stronger again in Maypen. Or actually, that might have been old. Let me make sure this camera's up to date. There. And then this final one. And I'll look back at chat. All right. Had tortilla soup. That sounds good. You had a royal cruise booked for Falmouth. Where's Falmouth? All right, let's see if we have that new data in from the Hurricane Hunter plane. We do. Maybe a little bit stronger. We'll see what the next little thing is, but this part of the storm seems to be above 155 knots. Surface winds does not really seem much of an indication of a weakening. Let's go look at it from here. I mean, you see it just went in. 909 extrapolated surface pressure. Strongest winds aloft 157. At least on that side. We haven't gotten a full picture on the other side yet. Oh wait, that was from another flight, I think. It's hard to tell. Actually, I don't think we've gotten the... Yeah, I don't think we've gotten the at least an update through Radar Mega of this plane being through the center of the storm. Yeah, I think it's just in the center right now. Yeah. Yeah, it's not in the center of the storm yet, but it's getting there. While we're here, let's check on the forward movement of our storm. Oh yeah, it is kind of going north northwest a little bit, but it's definitely still moving quite a bit. Haven't been in streams in a while. Yeah, it's been a minute since we've had a long live stream. Yeah, that wind speed though is above the surface. So we'll have to wait for that drop son data to come in and the max wind band data to come in. Harbor cam might be down. We have this camera up. Yeah, downtown Kingston is getting some pretty decent winds now. Don't have that cam up. Sorry. That. I thank you, Queen, for becoming a member. Thank you. Welcome, welcome. This has probably been said, but if it makes landfall as a Cat 5, it'll be the first. Yes, it'll be the first in Jamaica's recorded history. That is right. This has never happened before. That is if it does make landfall as a Category 1. Yeah, it does kind of have that old Weather Channel vibe to it. I do agree. Hello, hello, welcome. We are seeing way too many Category 5 storms lately. Yeah. That is true. 3 of the 4 major hurricanes that have formed in the Atlantic were all Category 5s, which is quite the anomaly. Not gonna lie. Well, Haynes, the best way to potentially meet me is to go play golf at Robert Trent. I am there when I'm not streaming and there's nothing to talk about in terms of videos, or even if there's something to talk about, I'm usually there every day for at least 3 to 4 hours. Sometimes up to 6 hours. Yeah, it's a great course. Slightly above average in ace. Yeah, probably. By the time it's all said and done, it definitely will be above average. Because, I mean, this hurricane's got a long way to spin and accumulate that ace. Is there much shear out there to break this hurricane down? No, not really. Also, the inner structure of the storm, there is technically a little bit of shear around our storm right now, but there's just such a organized center of the storm that it just doesn't really matter. What time is it in Jamaica? It is the same time as Central Time, so it is almost 10 o'clock p.m. haven't seen any big wind gusts in a while. Let's come back over to Westmoreland. We're in a little bit of a lull in the activity, as we are in between thunderstorms on most of our cameras. So let's go check out, let's watch the river for a little bit. See if we notice anything different. Definitely still fast flow, man. I still feel like it's increasing in speed even more. Anywhere near Ocho Rios. Let me see where Ocho Rios or Ocho Rios. No, we don't have any cameras on the northern side of the island, unfortunately. Shadows have shrunk. They have, which means the water is still rising. You know, if we go back in time, you can see how much it's risen on this river. This is about an hour and a half ago in comparison to now. It's definitely getting higher. Like, that's a big difference. Boom. Another hour and 30 minutes. We could be close to the top of the bridge if the flow rate increases, or at least to the top of that little pylon that where it tapers off on the bottom of the bridge, the little thing that's holding it up. Looks faster, and yeah, those random tiny waves, yeah. But the water's faster and it's rising. We've confirmed that a couple of times. It is definitely concerning. If this keeps happening, which it will, we got plenty of rain to come. Unfortunately, we're likely going to see this entire area submerged underwater. It's a pretty strong bridge. But you know, if we do get like a mudslide that kind of comes through this area, or a big debris flow, it is possible that could destroy the bridge. That building, though, is definitely probably not going to survive a flood. A little shack on the right side there. The bridge was actually reconstructed in the 1880s, and there hasn't been I'm not sure if this is the biggest rainfall event ever in this area, but probably like the fastest time, like the fastest period of time where 40 inches of rain has fallen. We're pretty dang close. You just saw a black cat near that building. Yeah, there was a dog hanging around here earlier as well. Thank you, Nefex, SS, and Young Stunna for subscribing. Welcome. I think it was a little bit higher above the surface, Leroy. LaCroix? Is it LaCroix or Leroy? But yeah. Check these other cams to make sure we don't have any big gusts. Oops, I messed up my headphones. Let me plug that back in. There we go. Yeah, still relatively calm in comparison to what it was. So still no major wind, guys. This is still pretty much our most concerning area right there. Looks like the harbor cam, the Kingston harbor cam may be down. Been down like that for a while. We might need to replace that cam. Yeah, it's been turning north for a good hour now. It is definitely on the move. It's turning north, or it's going north and east. The last little scan on our storm here also has been showing a recent kind of jog back to the north, kind of northwestish. So we're getting another wobble back to the west. A little bit. Let me zoom in even more so you guys can see it better. See that? It started moving north and east, and now it's moving more north and west. Or mainly just like due north, I think. All right, I think I'm going to replace this one camera. Here. Also, huge shout out to See Jamaica. If you guys have not subscribed to See Jamaica, these cameras are from See Jamaica on YouTube. Give them a big old subscribe and a like. They have been super helpful in tracking the progress of all of these things. Everything happening in Jamaica in terms of actual impacts. Where is Barbican, Jamaica? It's North Kingston. We will bring this camera and replace this one up on the top left, as that one has gone down. We'll bring up the harbor cam again. It's because I like being able to track how much that camera is shaking. Oh my gosh, that tree looks like a Shih Tzu. You'll see it when I bring it full cam. The tree on the bottom right. Oh my. We have some new data to go over. Some breaking news. Latest dropson has measured 903 millibars at the surface, a record low pressure for our storm has just been achieved. So the storm is getting stronger. That is not good. Oh man, that hey guys, it's making a run for sub 900. Wow. That's just nuts. 156. But yeah, I don't really have a way to do that, I don't think. Without like guaranteeing not getting like copyright stricken by somebody. When is landfall predicted? It's somewhere in between like 8 a.m. and 12 p.m. Somewhere over near the Black River, either near like White House, could be as far west as Savannah Lamar, and also as far east as like Alligator Pond. I was really hoping we get an eye replacement cycle or some sort of hope that this storm is weakening by now, but we are not getting that. How big is the eye? It's probably, let me check. Yeah, about 14 miles across. 12 to 14 miles across there. Man. I mean, this is just still such an impressive storm. So circular in the eye and also on the outer portions of our hurricane as well. I mean, this is going to be a freaking catastrophe, man. I just don't think there's any way to avoid that. I mean, it's bad. Advisory 27 just came in. I'm trying to refresh. It's not showing it on my screen. Can you post that? The details in chat or in the reporter group? Oh, here it is. Breaking news. We have, actually, we'll bring it up here. We have the latest update here out of the National Hurricane Center. Just showed up here. 903 millibars, but they're keeping the max sustained winds at 175 miles per hour. Likely our pressures are dropping and the winds haven't caught back up yet. But I mean, that's the last pass in our storm indicated like 907, 906 in that range. And then by the next pass, it dropped 4 millibars. By the next pass, if it continues on that trajectory, we could have a sub 900. The eye wall is like a giant EF5 tornado. No, more like a giant EF4 tornado. That is going to be lasting a lot longer than a tornado would. I am done eating my burrito slop. We are officially in slump mode, though. Maybe not. Maybe I can unslump myself. I don't know why it looks like I'm turned away from the camera. I feel like I'm facing directly towards it. I have to turn more this way. Milton was 897 at its peak. Ooh. It was getting close to Milton's strength. Only 6 miles per hour off of it. Well, those peak bulges connect to Melissa also. These guys, technically not really. What's going to happen is that, you know, this moisture is going to get strung around and eventually ingested into our storm. And we're kind of getting a skull look. Man, it is just crazy how circular this storm is right now. It is so symmetrical. This is a perfect hurricane. Absolutely insane. Pouring and very windy. Yes. Yes, we have seen a lot of wind in a lot of our different cameras, and but we haven't seen anything too crazy in a while. Seems like we're getting a break in some of like the worst conditions for now. We had some thunderstorms move on land, which brought a lot of rain and wind into Maypen and Kingston. There still is a decent amount of rain and wind though, but we haven't seen like super strong wind gusts in a little minute. Let me also change the title of this camera up here. That is no longer Kingston Harbor. Which camera is that? That is... Where is Devon House located? Research. Devon House, Jamaica. Oh, that's in Kingston. Never mind. That is in Kingston. Let's see. This is Barbican, St. Andrew. Jamaica. Still also technically in Kingston. And thank you, Andrew, for subscribing. Welcome, welcome. Hurricane winds don't extend 150 miles. No, they do not. But we could get hurricane force winds in some of these thunderstorms or close to it. I mean, I'll be live for a while. Yeah. I think I plan to be live till about 12 or 1 a.m. and then I'm going to get a nice little power nap / sleep in. And then we'll be back up bright and early, probably around like 6. DMs. Serious wording from the National Hurricane Center. Although such intense tropical cyclones typically undergo eye wall replacement. Oh, sorry. Still got that phlegm. Especially after I eat, it seems the phlegm gets a little bit worse. From Jamaica, radar observations from Jamaica do not show this occurring thus far. Jamaica, remain in your safe shelter. Catastrophic flash flooding and numerous landslides are expected through Tuesday. The eye wall destructive winds may cause total structural failure, particularly in higher elevations, leading to widespread infrastructural damage, prolonged power and communication outages in isolated communities. Along the southern coast, life-threatening storm. By the way, isolated communities means communities where you can't leave or go into. Along the southern coast, life-threatening storm surge and damaging waves are anticipated through Tuesday. Failure to take immediate action may result in serious injury or significant loss of life. That's the latest wording from the National Hurricane Center. That's pretty serious wording. Yeah, landfall in between 8 a.m. and 12 noon. You're not looking sleepy at all? Not yet. It has officially hit when I usually go to bed. So we shall see. With how slow it is moving, the available heat and humidity, this thing does not need an eye wall replacement to strengthen. Absolutely not. This thing has got plenty of juice and it's going to keep on going. I mean, look at this latest thunderstorm activity. I mean, this is extremely cold cloud tops still wrapping around our storm. Some of the coldest cloud tops we have seen tonight on the southern side of our hurricane. Very, very strong hurricane thus far. Where's the latest on the track? The latest track is in. They still have the average center of track near Black River. That did not change that much. Expected to be off the coast by 7 a.m. And then probably into the coast sometime between 8 and 12 p.m. out over here near Black River, Crawford, and Cambridge. Will this be Jamaica's strongest hurricane? You're not familiar with their history. Yes, this will be Jamaica's strongest hurricane in recorded history. Let me change my text here. As the millibar pressures have gone down to 903 millibars. It's never been hit by a Cat 5. No, not in recorded history. Maybe in the past, way long time ago, but not in recorded history. Wow. Look at this river. It is still rising. Give it another hour or so. That's going to be pretty close to the road. I'm telling you, if the rain continues at this rate, it is not going to be good. Do we know if this hurricane is going to affect any other country? Yeah, Cuba, Turks and Caicos, and then Bermuda after that. Could end up hitting 4 different countries, but Bermuda is going to be kind of hard to tell if it's going to hit Bermuda or not until a little bit longer. Here's that a Maypen. Still looking pretty calm. We had some really strong winds in Maypen earlier, but I think that was associated with a thunderstorm. So since the thunderstorm is over, the winds have subsided. The area where we're expecting to see the most consistent strong winds over here with our Little London, Westmoreland, Jamaica cam, which is going to be our closest cam to landfall, potentially just a couple of miles from the inner core of the storm. And actually, according to some of the models, could potentially get direct impacts. And you can see the winds are picking up again here in Westmoreland. Am I going to get some rest before this hits? Yes. I'll probably get off by around 1 a.m. It just really depends. You know, if we got like, let's say we get close to 1 a.m. and that river goes absolutely crazy, I'll probably drink a coffee and just do an all-nighter. It really depends on what the situation is like on the ground. I'm not going to leave people in the dark with the threat of massive river flooding, not especially with Spanish Town being down the line. So Spanish Town, which is a pretty big city, is down the line of the Flatbridge River. The eastern portion, if this were to flood significantly and have major debris flows, it would likely take out a lot of homes in Spanish Town. Oh, there's a piece of debris. Was that a piece of debris? Might have been like a little whirlpool. That was weird. Thought I saw a piece of debris. I don't think that was one. Yeah, they still have lights. I mean, we haven't had any really bad impacts yet. Nothing catastrophic. Yeah, I saw that RG5. Yeah, no problem, Derry. Do they have diesel backup generators? These cameras? I'm not sure. They did last year. Some of them did. And thank you, Sharon and Dash, for subscribing. I do appreciate that. Thank you so much. They did dig up as much as they could in the trenches and gullies to try to move that water in when it comes. That's good. I'm glad that is, but you know, it's going to take a lot of digging to stop the progress of this river when it really gets going. We really do get 40 inches of rain. I mean, it's going to be really bad. Like we're talking like this river is going to be over this bridge. That shed on the right side is going to be gone, and you're not going to be able to see the road or nothing. And that's going to make it downstream to Spanish Town, and it's just going to be catastrophic. That's why we're watching this camera like a hawk. Also, given its location, this might end up being one of our last cameras to survive the storm as well. You think the U.S. might get saved from hurricanes this year? I hope so, but hurricane season technically isn't over yet. In the Caribbean and in the Gulf, even with this hurricane, it's still pretty dang hot out there. Do I have a camera in Spanish Town? I don't believe I do. Let me just check online. The cameras for the next big one that comes through. Last year, I think Jamaica had only like 4 cameras, and this year they have like over 12. But that was all of y'all's last year's donations during Hurricane Beryl that went to Jamaica and ended up funding even more cameras. This is not going to reach Florida. No. Yeah. Melissa's basically a perfect circle. Discovery Bay. What country is that in? I think there's street flooding on one of these cameras. Like I just saw. Some street flooding in Barbican. Let me go check that out really quick. That would be one of these. No. This one? Which one is it? Halfway tree. Well, I guess I didn't. Yeah, just keep an eye on the camera on the top left. I thought I had it a big screen version of that. I could technically. Here, let's do something. Let's add another scene. Hold on. Do Control C, Control. Okay, and then we'll do this. Control C. And put that here. And then we will delete this. Delete that. Bring this up. Not Florida. And then we will switch this to the Barbican. I think there's street flooding on this. I think I saw street flooding. That. Give me one moment. Just adding another camera scene here so we can make switching in between them a little bit easier. Give me a second. I got to clear out this chat, and then it'll go full screen. And then we do this, copy this, paste duplicate there, and then put Barbican. Yeah, I think there's street flooding like right in the center here. Let's see. There's a car coming. Yeah, there's a little bit, but never mind. I was wrong. Oh, wait, there is some on the right side. Look at that. All the way up on the right side there. And that will only continue to grow, I think. Is that street flooding? I can't tell if it's moving or not. It looks like street flooding on the right side of that road, moving away from the cam. Has live cameras. Let me check that out. Oh yeah, I think we've used this one before. Let me add this. Give me a second. We'll just do the same thing. This is a, we're getting a Montego Bay camera up. I actually remember this camera, so I know it's legit. The Grand Azul Pool. A little bit slideshowy, but it will give us at least some indication of conditions in this area. I also think it's pretty close to the shore, if I remember correctly. So if there's a big storm surge over there, we should see that at least tomorrow morning or tomorrow afternoon. Okay. Then I need to add a couple of things to my my MIDI. Oh, sorry. I might have been playing some sound effects there. I was trying to change something. There we go. That to that. All right. Looks like one of our planes might be about to make the turn towards the storm. Again, hopefully we get one more pass. It definitely seems like our storm is intensifying yet again. I'd really like to see one more update, at least from a plane, on the intensity of our storm. Sending prayers from Canada. I'm sure Jamaica appreciates your prayers. Making sure all these are current. Go, and then yeah. Public safety audio feed has 2 good cams. Where would I even find that? Let me see. Audio feed. Webcams. Jamaica. Oh, where would I find that? Is it moving northwest? It kind of is. If we come over here to the big screen view, wow. Yeah, it's a little bit to the north. It's more north than northwest. See if it was northeast and then it kind of tracks back up to the north. It's basically going just due north right now. Look at the latest National Hurricane Center. The last update, they said it's moving north-northeast at 2 miles per hour. So still no major speed updates there. YouTube. What do I search on YouTube, Paula? Try cameras and Negro. I haven't been able to find any. If you guys have any, here, how about this? If you guys have links to cameras that I do not have, send them over here. Link is in the description. Our link is in the chat. That's my my Twitter account. It's a perfect donut. It really is. This storm is extremely impressive in terms of its symmetry, in terms of its intensity. It is a Very dangerous storm still as well. Category 5, minimum pressure 903 millibars with 180 miles per hour winds. This is a extremely dangerous hurricane. And it, we've been hoping that it would eventually weaken, but we are getting no such luck so far with Hurricane Melissa. It has been holding at this extreme intensity for quite a while. Looks like a saw blade. It does. It also kind of looks like an axe. One of those really fancy axes. Got like a little thing like that. And then there's the blade. And then here's the handle. Oh, wait. I gotta zoom out so you can see it. Like a fancy axe. That's what I see. Possible 190 at landfall. I wouldn't rule it out, but it should interact with some of these mountains before the inner eye wall goes in, which should hopefully cause a little bit of weakening. But I can tell you right now, the amount of devastation that happens in between 160 miles per hour and 180 is pretty much exactly the same. It was like a handheld buzzsaw, I guess. I mean, it looks like a circle. Like, crazy words aside, it basically just looks like a circle. But it will kind of act like a buzzsaw once it comes into Jamaica. Barely any trees will survive this storm if it reaches Jamaica with this intensity. We saw this in Hurricane, I think it was Patricia, when it made landfall in Mexico. It just absolutely destroyed so many trees in its path, and this storm isn't exactly the same intensity, but it is dang close to that. So we could see similar type of impacts. Looks like one of our cameras might be down in downtown Kingston, making me wonder, are we starting to lose some power in downtown Kingston? Nope, it's back up. It's back. Check for traffic cameras in Spanish Town. Is that a thing? I don't think that's a thing. But I will search it. I don't even think there's this Jamaica Eye initiative. Camera initiative. Jamaica Eye CCT deployed. I would need to be able to find where that data is located. I'm not finding like a map or anything with the cameras. Apparently they have some sort of national CCTV camera initiative, kind of like traffic cameras. There's no single public map of Jamaica Eye camera, as a system called Jamaica Eye is a government-run surveillance network primarily for law enforcement and public safety officials. Okay, so it's not for the public. The eye winks at us. That